¿Cómo le va? ¿Cómo está usted? ¿Todo marchando bien? Muy bien, gracias Señor por todo. Hoy es miércoles 28 de febrero. I'm a gringo. That's why I don't speak Spanish with a good accent. But I tried. I had you fooled for a while, didn't I? Good morning to you, and I hope and trust you will enjoy the reading that we have today in the book of Hebrews. We are in chapter 10. I remember starting chapter 1. By the way, meant to say this, two things. Got to give props to whom props are due. Thank you, those of you who have been sending in offerings for sometimes specific projects that you heard about here in the church, or just general offerings, and they end up on my desk. We try to say thank you to every single one of you. Number two, those of you who send cards, celebration, your 1,000th devotion that I did some time ago. I got a bunch of emails and even cards sent to me. And did you know that someone sent me, now that I'm wearing my Waffle House hoodie, someone sent me a gift card for the Waffle House. The only trouble is there are no Waffle Houses in New York City. But to the South, I will return, and elsewhere, and I will thank you for all of that. I really appreciate it. Number two, I didn't bring it in. I'll bring it in soon. Someone sent me the gorgeous BTDD hoodie, Brooklyn Tabernacle Daily Devotion. That's the fraternity, the crew, the group that we belong to. And my wife loves it. It was very well done. And you know who makes it? No, whoever sent it in, I can't remember now. They didn't go to some, Hanes or something like that. Hey, Old Navy, BTDD. And on the back, it's made by Old Navy. It's not Saks Fifth Avenue, but, it's a little higher than, I think, Waffle House, that hoodie. So if we make it available, we'll let you know. But what I want to say is thank you for watching, and if you know anyone who can be encouraged by this, please let them know about it. I just want to be an encouragement. Hebrews, we're going to sum up something now in Hebrews 10. First, he said, verse 8, Jesus, sacrifices and offerings, burnt offerings and sin offerings you did not desire, nor were you pleased with them. We read that yesterday. Though they were offered in accordance with the law. So now the writer is saying, the new covenant has come, the old has gone. When Christ came into the world, he didn't have something to offer. He was the offering. Then he said, here I am, I have come to do your will. End of quote. The will of offering himself as a sacrifice for our sins. He sets aside the first to establish the second. I hope you know what that means. He sets aside the first what? The first covenant. He didn't obey the first covenant by offering sacrifices. He was the new way. He is the new covenant. He is the salvation for all those who trust in him. Jesus, everything. You don't need more. You can't do with less. Jesus. He set aside the old covenant by offering himself. Now that's a new covenant. But how did he do it? Listen. He sets aside the first to establish the second. And by that will, the will of God, we have been made holy through the sacrifice of the body of Jesus Christ once for all. So there's a lot in there. So let me just give you this part. By that will, by obeying the will of God, we have been made holy. We're separated now from all others because of the sacrifice of the body of Jesus Christ once for all. Comprende, no comprende. The old is gone, the new has come. Don't read and follow anything in the Old Testament promise or command unless it's repeated in the new covenant. We're not stoning people caught in adultery, but God commanded that. And if you don't obey all of them, who gives you the right to pick and choose? I grew up around that. People just picking and choosing some Old Testament. I always told you about my grandmother. I had a sweet grandmother, my mother's mother. Oh, es una santa. She was a saint. And I mean that as a wonderful woman of God. We're all saints. So, and then I had another grandmother. I won't say it anymore, my father's mother. And one day she lit into me. I was 11 years old, maybe 12, watching a Yankee game on a Sunday afternoon after going to church, and I was eating grapes. And she had just read the vow of the Nazarite in the Old Testament. They can eat nothing from the fruit of the vine. And her misled bishop who was in her church had told her that was for all of us. So they didn't do anything. They're lucky if they ate a meal. Everything was prohibited. But she lit into me. I remember her yelling at me, "What's going to happen to you? You're going to go to hell, Jimmy, eating that fruit of the vine." And I was like, this is the green grapes. What did I know? And other people today, no, you can't eat pork. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. All food has been made holy now in the new covenant. We're not under that old covenant. Can't eat certain fish. You eat that pork chop tonight. I told the church yesterday, I was in, sorry for the side road, I was in a barbecue place in Florida. Pulled pork, tender with barbecue sauce. You know what that means, right? Too good to describe. And I was so thankful I don't eat in the old covenant way. I can eat whatever tastes good, not bad for our health. So the old is gone, the new has come. No more animal sacrifices. But now this is important now. How did the old covenant get a change into the new covenant? By Jesus saying, "A body you have prepared for me, as is written about me in the scroll, the Old Testament. I have come to do your will." Submission to the will of God was what made possible the new covenant to come into being. Jesus Christ submitted to the will of God. Was it easy? Tell me. Read about Gethsemane. And he prayed, perspiring as great sweat, drops of blood. Was the cross easy? Was the scourging easy? Why did he do it? Because it was the will of God. So now I ask you this. Is it fit and proper for us to come to church and sing and claim to be Christians when we have no regard for the will of God? The will of God, which, when it applied to Jesus, made possible our salvation. Do you follow? Isn't it almost sacrilegious for me to say, I want to do my thing, or as they say nowadays, follow my dream, my destiny? No, destiny and dreams are not what the New Testament highlights. It's he that does, she that does the will of God will abide forever. Let's ask God to help us do his will today. Wherever that might lead you, whatever you're supposed to say, not say, do, help, pray, give. Let's submit today to the precious will of God. God bless you. See you tomorrow.